met my first manager, Shaka Hayes, was one of the managers at Get a Clue at the time or whatever. He used to tell me all the time, like, you know what I'm saying, yo, when you get the music stuff going, like, I want to be your manager. I want to be your manager. And then lo and behold, he actually was serious. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, shout out to DJ Rip One. Rest in peace, DJ Geo. You know what I'm saying? He used to be in there all the time. And we'd, like, you know, if it was slow in the store, you know, one of them would throw an instrumental on and I get the freestyling, you know what I'm saying? And I think those days, early on days, were like really pivotal for me building my confidence and like my presence as an MC. My mom was like a real hustler, like, you know what I'm saying? She was a hustler when she was in the streets, but she flipped the hustle to the legal side, you know what I'm saying? So like when she came home, like I've had friends come home from the penitentiary and stuff like that and completely get back on their feet or whatever, but it's different when you're living in a house with somebody that doesn't. So it's like, I watched my mom come home from the pen with like no money, nothing going on. So within like 2-3 years, bought us a nice house in the Thomas and had like a great job. And you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's like, I don't really like deal with people like making excuses for stuff or whatever, because I've seen my mom do the impossible. You know what I mean? The rest of the movie is him coming to terms with the fact that, hey, I'm gonna die because of what I said, but it's so important that I'm willing to die for it.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about my artwork and my legacy.
All right, man. Legacy Lounge. Sometimes people want to talk.
We have an incredible guest here.
What's up, brother?
The definition of the Legacy Lounge is the stuff that he's putting together. He's a great community leader. His story is amazing.
We're just gonna start right. We're just gonna get right into it. I feel like, you know, like everyone's different with their ear for hip hop, and I don't know why I feel like I have such a fucking good ear for it.
Yeah,
like I really do.
I agree. You know your taste.
I know my taste, and I think what makes you so special is I have a buddy. His name's Armando. Matter of fact, Armando was our first guest on the Legacy Lounge.
Oh, dope.
And you might remember, might not, but when I was talking to Armando about you, he said that he had met you. There was like a concert that was like, I don't know if it was like a concert series, but he's really good friends with the Philharmonic, and they threw out some concert series that you were involved with, kind of by Lowbrow. Years ago. His name's Dr. Mondo.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember that, the 916 Live, I think.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Nice.
And he's also got a pretty good ear for music, and he was like, man, dude's just an old soul. And that's what, like, when I listen to your music, that's what I think I appreciate the most, is it sounds like I'm in a time capsule, which is so fucking refreshing for hip hop, because there's, with a lot of different, not just hip hop, but in my opinion, there's just a lot of not so good rap music. And you kind of have to dig a little bit to find the good stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff, but it's like you said, like it's not filtered to the top. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. So, yeah, man. My story of how I ran into your music was, by the way, I figured that you've met him. I don't think, maybe you haven't met him, but it's the big homie Weston Ramirez. So Weston, I'm gonna be pushing for you guys to somehow get on a track together, because he does production.
Okay.
He's really good friends with Epic.
Yeah.
And I met Weston through Scott Gilbert, who, fun story, you used to work with.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Tell us about like how many years ago you worked to Get a Clue?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Get a Clue, I think, was like my second real job, like out of high school. I worked at Old Navy for a little bit. Before that, I was mowing lawns, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was an assistant apartment super for one of my mom's friends that had some properties or whatever. So I was doing like the landscaping over there. And I just walked in one day, filled out an application, and the rest was history. I was there for about 2.5, almost 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Learned a lot. Learned how to sell, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to be a hustler to work in those stores, because it's commission-based, you know what I mean? I made a lot of good connections, and it kind of gave me a foundation for me to start my music career. I actually met my first manager, Shaka Hayes, was one of the managers at Get a Clue at the time or whatever. And he used to tell me all the time, like, you know what I'm saying, yo, when you get the music stuff going, like, I want to be your manager. I want to be your manager. And then lo and behold, he actually was serious. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, shout out to DJ Rip One. Rest in peace, DJ Geo. You know what I'm saying? He used to be in there all the time. And we'd, like, you know, if it was slow in the store, you know, one of them would throw an instrumental on and I get the freestyling, you know what I'm saying? And
Yes,
I
sir.
think those days, early on days, were like really pivotal for me building my confidence and like my presence as an MC, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, so shout out to Scott, shout out to Justin, the whole Get a Clue set.
Yeah, I was
Man.
bummed that I missed you because I went to that concert that was at the Capitol, K Tronada,
Yeah.
and I came with Weston, Scott, and ended up kind of like losing. There was a shit ton of people at that concert.
I had so much fun that day.
Yeah, that was a good time. But I ended up like losing track with Scott. Scott took a picture with you because I told Scott, I'm like, I got to meet this dude C plus, man. But I ended up back towards the back with the homie Weston and Epic, and that's when I got to like chat with Epic. I'm like, bro, like I'm gonna say a strong statement, but I personally feel from what my ears are hearing that this is the greatest rapper in Sacramento history. And Epic and I had like we chatted about it. We started throwing out some names, and like the names that I would throw out just to get right into it for me personally would be Brother Lin Chung,
Definitely.
Mozzie,
Definitely.
and C plus. Those would probably be my top three. But for me, a white guy that grew up in the suburbs. Now I ended up moving to South Sac. You know, I gotta like make sure I say that just so I get my hood credentials. I did live by G Parkway for 3 years.
Okay.
So it wasn't 100% living in suburbia.
Yeah.
But like my relatability to Brother Lin Chung and Mozzie is probably not like maybe other people. So that would be why when I listen to your music, what's refreshing is it's more storytelling and it's just something that's, to me at least, a little bit more relatable.
Right on.
So those are your flowers right there.
Thank you. They smell great. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
hell yeah. So were you born and raised in Sacramento?
Born and raised, yep.
Nice. So Natomas?
I was actually originally living in Carmichael
Okay.
with my grandmother until I was about 11, 12 years old. Then I moved into Thomas.
Okay.
Yep.
There you
Mom
go.
and dad in the picture.
Dad, not so much in the picture, you know how that go. But and then my mom was actually incarcerated for like she was in and out the streets and didn't have custody of me until like she came back around like maybe when I was like 6, 7 years old, and then she ended up catching a case and was locked up. So I was like 11, 12.
Wow.
Do you still talk to your mom?
Yeah, me and my mom tight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
What
like
about-
when she did get out, like she cleaned her life up, got out the streets, and became a very successful entrepreneur. Did a lot of. She actually worked with a company that does like a lot of local stuff for like the churches and what's it called? Program resources.
Yep.
She
Okay.
worked for a company called On Track, and they do a lot of community work and stuff like that. A lot of faith-based work. Work with a lot of stuff with Weave,
Yeah.
Women Escaping the Violent Environment, and, the Anti-Gambling Commission, and just a lot of positive stuff. And then she actually retired about 5 or 6 years ago, so she's just at the house chilling with the dogs now.
Nice.
Love that. How old were you when she came out and turned that around? Just to
Like 11, 12 years
yeah,
old.
that's when it happened.
My mom was like a real hustler, like, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
She was a hustler when she was in the streets, but
Yeah.
she flipped the hustle to the legal side, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
So like when she came home, like I've had friends come home from the penitentiary and stuff like that and completely get back on their feet or whatever, but it's different when you're living in a house with somebody that
No
doesn't.
doubt.
So it's like I watched my mom come home from the pen with like no money, nothing going on. So within like 2-3 years, bought us a nice house in the Thomas and had like
Let's
a great
go.
job, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
go.
so that's like I don't really like deal with people like making excuses for stuff or
Yeah.
whatever because I've seen my mom do the impossible. You know what I mean?
Man.
So-
Inspiring. I love that.
So did you end up? You were with your grandma. Did you end up then eventually moving back with your mom?
Nah, we all lived together.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, got it.
So rest in peace, my grandmother. She basically took care of me until my mom got out the pen, and then my mom, as like to pay her back, I felt like, you know what I'm saying, like retired her and put us in a nice house. You know what I mean?
So tell us a little about. I mentioned your older brother. So Nash, you guys share the same mom.
Same mom, different dads.
Nice.
His dad actually had a lot helped raise me a lot too.
Let's go.
Okay. Is his dad still in?
His dad unfortunately passed away a couple years ago. Rest
Got
in
it.
peace to Jerome.
So talk about that relationship. I mean, you guys recently released an album together. Talk about how important that relationship is. You and your brother.
It's super important. I kind of downplayed how important it was when I was younger. Like I didn't understand like a lot of the dynamic that was in place or whatever, because it wasn't just my grandmother, it was also his dad. Like, yo, your little brother needs you. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He's like, it wouldn't be me calling my older brother like, hey, can I come over for the weekend? It would be his dad telling him like, hey, your brother's coming over here for the weekend. And you're about to do some stuff with your brother. Or my grandma would make him take me with him to do stuff. So like take me to basketball games and drag me to the studio. And it's like I was into music, but not really like that when I was younger. So I didn't like understand how big it was that I would be in a nice professional recording studio and watching them do their thing or whatever. And it's like it kind of got instilled in me subconsciously. Like, but yeah, he definitely like, you know, that's like my second father figure. Like I had a bunch of great positive male role models around me, even though I didn't really have my dad in my life like that. And, you know, not to slight him because, you know, he has came around and stuff like that. And I thank him for giving me life and everything. It's just like we just don't really connect because once I got older and I understood like had friends that had kids young when we were fresh out of high school and watched them take care of their kids. And regardless of the situations, like I said, I don't really make excuses for people. It's like, oh, you just, you know, you didn't want to. You know what I'm saying? It's not a matter of you couldn't. It's just you didn't want to. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, my brother definitely had a lot to do with my development young on. Especially like when I got to like my teenage years and I kind of, you know, was rebelling a little bit and became a little too much for my mom to handle. It would always be, and he tells me that now, he's like, you don't understand how mom was on my case about you. Like, it would be literally like, you would feel like it would be an issue between you and her, and she would be like ignoring the issue whole time. She on the phone with me, like, what do I do? Because I'm not getting through to him because he's becoming a young man and he's not listening to me. So I need you to instill these things in him. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Nashua. Definitely had a lot to do with me growing up.
That's dope.
So is that kind of like if asking the question, how'd you get into rapping? Is that?
Oh, he's 100% to blame.
Yeah.
I would say it's 90% him, and then the other 10% I would credit to like my friend group, and then a lot of it had to do with skateboarding. So I skated early on. I still skate every now and then. I can't really get out there and do what I used to because if I get hurt, then I'm not gonna be able to work. So I can't really afford an injury right now. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you would watch, you know, skate videos, and it's like, you know, one dude skating to like a Bob Seger song, and then the next dude skating to a Rolling Stone song, but then the third dude's part come on and he's skating to Wu-Tang. And then the next dude come on, he's skating to Big L. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the next dude's skating to a Cannabis song. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is like the era of like Napster and LimeWire and stuff. So it's like I'll watch skate videos and then I would go on Napster and I'd download all the songs from the skate videos. And then from that, it's like, okay, I like Wu-Tang, so let me download all the Wu-Tang songs. Like, who's Lord Finesse and the Digging in the Crates crew? Like, and then you go down the rabbit hole of that, and then you start discovering all the intricacies of like, oh, this person was on this album, but he produced on this album. Or this person, you know, put this album together with this person, but then he flipped and started, you know, went to another crew and you know, stuff like that. So that kind of like just inspired me to get into music more just as a fan, you know what I'm saying? But me rapping definitely probably like 100% my brother.
Man.
And then, you know, like when you're younger and you first start smoking pot, you know what I'm saying? You freestyle with your
All
friends.
day.
I feel like if you never tried to, I feel like everybody that smoked weed with their friends and likes hip hop, you at some point tried to freestyle.
No doubt.
You tried it. You had to. You know what I'm saying? You might have tried it one time and realized you was buns and never did it again. You know what I'm saying? But you had to try it. You know what I mean? And I just happened to be like, you know, I skateboarded. I was decent at skateboarding. I had friends that break danced. I tried to break dance. I wasn't that good. I had friends that spray painted. I had a lot of friends that did graffiti. Like, I can't say their names because it's a legal activity, but some of my close friend group when I was like in high school, junior high, went on to become some more of the prevalent graffiti writers in the city of Sacramento and in like the Bay Area, right? So it's like I tried that, wasn't that good. Went to the train yards and the police showed up. I couldn't run fast enough, so I was like, all right, this might not be it. You know what I'm saying? But rap was the first thing that I tried for the first time, and I was like, oh, I'm good at this. Like from the first time I ever tried it. Like,
was that high school or before high school?
8th grade. I got a credit. I had a cat. I was in an elective science class. It was like I forget what it was called, but it wasn't like the real science class, but it was like an elective science class. And he just challenged me one day. He was like, bro, write a rap. Because he was already rapping. Like he had like a little studio set up in his crib and everything. Like, and I tried it, and then like the next day, everyone like rapped. We had like a fake battle. Like nobody's raps were like getting at the other person like a battle, but it was like a cipher, and everybody was like trying to be the best in the cipher. And I went and I read my little rap off my paper that I wrote before, and I just looked around and everybody's jaws was dropping. They were
Uh-huh.
like, yo, like, because I was kind of quiet, like, when I was younger. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really have the charismatic personality I do now, let's say. But, like, that was the first thing I was like, yo, like, I'm getting a reaction from people. Like, people like this or whatever. And that was, like, really helped me build my confidence. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Not just as a MC, but just as, like, a growing teenager. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I found my niche. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, I mean, you found out that's your thing, that you're good at it. When did it move from something I'm good at to, no, I really want to do this?
My senior project in high school. I've made a demo from my senior project. So it's like how you got to do senior project to graduate.
Yeah.
And you have all these like stipulations of like you have to log your hours that you've been working on it, and you have to have some type of video documentation that you were doing it or whatever. And then like I had this whole presentation of like, this is how I made my demo. You know what I'm saying? And then I played the demo for my class, and it got mixed reviews. I think at that time, like everybody was like more into different types of hip hop than what I was trying to make. It's like I knew from the jump that I wanted to make like this. Like I said, like I grew up on Wu-Tang and like that type of stuff. So it's like I kind of already knew what the direction of the music was gonna go or whatever. So like my first stuff was like I had samples, and you know I had a couple like kind of West Coast G-Funk type beats on there or whatever, just trying different stuff. But like I kind of already had an idea of what I wanted my music to sound like early on. So after I did the senior project and I had like physical, like, oh, I have 5 songs on a disc that I could get in the car with the homie and play. Like, you know what I'm saying? I could play this in my room and like, you know what I'm saying? I play this in my Walkman. This is before MP3 players and stuff like that. I think I might have had an MP3 player like junior, senior year of high school. I had like an iPod Touch or something. But yeah, just like the idea of like these were thoughts in my brain. Then I put them on a piece of paper, and then I went in front of a microphone and I said them, and now I'm listening to it. It's like it's literally like you're watching alchemy. You know what I'm saying? You're taking an idea and turning it into a physical product. And yeah, so like at that point I kind of knew. So it's like I did the senior project was the demo, but I knew I was gonna keep recording and doing music after that. So I actually put an advertisement for my mixtape in my senior yearbook. I took out an ad in the senior yearbook. And it's like it's funny because the picture it was a picture I had on MySpace of me. I had like a parka, like a hood. I had the hood on, and I was smoking a blunt. And I was taking Photoshop at the time. And that's so crazy. I took Photoshop in high school, and I was actually decent, and I forgot all that stuff. Like I wish I would have kept going with the graphic design stuff because it would have helped out a lot with me doing music. Doubt. But I just took and like blacked out the blunt and made it like a album coming soon. So like the text strip where the blunt was just me saying, it was like a speech bubble saying album coming soon. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I think but it was funny too because it's like I knew a handful of people had seen the picture on MySpace. So it's like they know that there's a blunt where the speech bubble is. But yeah, after that it's like it was kind of one of those things where it's like, oh well, I put the advertisement out. I said I was gonna do it. I have to do it now. You know what I'm saying?
That is a great story. Oh man.
What's it? I mean, what do you feel it's like? It seems like now as an artist, especially with how social media has blown up, like, do you think it's a good thing being an artist in like how it works now and how you? I mean, I feel like you're wearing constant hats. You got to be wearing constant hats. Like you got the hat of the promoter, right? And social media can be a blessing in that regard because, I mean, you can kind of make the argument that you get free advertising. You know what I mean? But like, what do you think it's like just being an artist right now?
To be 100% transparent, it's frustrating and it's stressful, but because it's constantly seeming like the goalpost is moving. It's like you adapt to one thing, and then once you get in the rhythm of that, it's like, oh, it's no longer Instagram. You gotta figure out how to do TikTok. And it's like, okay, all right, I'm on TikTok. Oh, TikTok and Instagram are kind of dead. You need to focus on YouTube. Yeah. Like, all right, how do I make short form content for YouTube? That I'm not a podcaster like you guys, you know what I'm saying? But I have to do it is constantly the push to show more of your personality, and it seems like people care more about that than they do the actual art. And it's like, I remember back in the day, it's like you would hear a song on the radio, or I would hear a song in a skate video or something like that, and I would be in love with that song and like that rapper or whatever, and have no idea what they look like until I went and bought a Source magazine and seen a picture of them. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like websites weren't, you know, I'm a pre-internet baby. I was born in 87, you know what I'm saying? So It wasn't like if you didn't have physical media to see what somebody looked like,
Yep.
you kind of like painted a picture of what they look like in their
You're
head. Like,
100%
you know what I'm
right
saying?
on that.
It's like, I don't know if this dude got a fade or a Jerry curl. He got dreadlocks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you buy the album and you see the album, okay, J. Rue the Jamager has big dreadlocks. That makes sense from what the stuff he's talking about.
Yeah.
That kind of connects or whatever. But you know, I feel like it is a blessing. You know what I'm saying? You do have these platforms that allow you to reach wider audiences. But, you know, we're constantly fighting the algorithm, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's almost like you got to feed the machine what it wants to get what you want from it in return.
Yeah.
And then also one thing I'm realizing is like this year I've been kind of more, so last year I put out all that music. And then this year I was like, all right, I'm going to slow down on the releasing music and focus more on the content aspect. And then, you know, it started out really good, you know what I'm saying? And it's still going good. But I've noticed like once you hit like 2 or 3 times doing the same thing, the algorithm will be like, all right, switch it up now.
Yeah.
You got to do something different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't know. And it's crazy because it's like a puzzle. It's like a mystery or a puzzle because you don't know what the thing is that you have to switch up to stay getting the right reaction. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I've seen a drop off. I'm creating the same content that I started creating at the beginning of the year, and I'm sticking with it. But I watched a drop off of about 100 or so likes to 3,000 or so views on each reel. And I'm like, nah, like I finally figured out something that works and it was working. Now I'm still doing the thing that is working. Why it's not working no more.
Yeah.
And that's just Instagram being like, all right, we let you trap on our block for like 2 weeks and we didn't tax you. We need our issue now. You are getting extorted. You know what I'm saying? Break bread or fake dead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, that's why if you listen to like a lot of people that like A&Rs or people that have YouTube platforms that give advice about how to promote music and stuff like that, they're all constantly saying the same thing. You have to engage your audience and then get them off that platform. You have to get them, like, you know, YouTube is a little bit more fair as far as the monetization and stuff like that. Get people off the Instagram to your YouTube. Get them off get them off the TikTok. Get them to a mailing list in your email. You know what I'm saying? Get them to your website. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they're only going to let you do so much on those platforms.
Yeah. Man.
I love that. You just gave us the reminder. I mean, we've had this podcast and we have some good growth, but ultimately I think what it takes, and I'm sure you'd probably relate to this, is you could only do so much as one person. You know what I mean? And having that manpower. But we talk about this just with the podcast studio of like, we need to build our following on YouTube. Like we've done pretty good on Instagram, but now we got to take it to YouTube. But like ultimately, it's just there's processes that are involved, a lot of work. But you know, I'm looking at what you're making. How many albums did you release last year?
He be working, man.
11 albums and 1 mixtape.
He be working, man. Yes, you do. That's why I'm so impressed. Not only your longevity, but you work. You put it out, man. That's impressive, man.
Thank you.
Man.
11 albums in 1 year. And that, like, was it fun? Was it stressful? Was it all of the above? Like, I mean, that's going deep down the rabbit hole with that many albums.
Yeah.
It was a little stressful at times. It honestly is like, and this is why I've been on this such a heavy push. Is something I kind of like said on Instagram at the beginning of the year. It's like, yo, my end goal is, it's not, I already live a rich life. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be rich to know that I live a rich life. But I want to be able to just pay all my bills and just be a full-time artist. And that's like kind of the goal that I'm chasing. So the only stressful part of it, I think, for me, is having to balance all that with real life. You know what I'm saying? And working a full-time job and you know, family and relationships or whatever, that's always going to be there. You got to deal with that regardless. But I don't look at rap like a job for real. Still, even if it does make money here and there, or even if it does create opportunities for me, because it's like, it's what I love to do. It's like, it sounds corny and cliche, but it's like, if you love what you do for a living, you'll never actually work a day in your life. I don't feel like I'm doing work when I'm in the studio creating. I don't feel like I'm doing work when sometimes maybe if I'm shooting a video, it can be a little strenuous or something like that. When I'm trying to shoot content and people keep walking in front of the camera and stuff or whatever. But like, for the most part, it's like, it's extremely rewarding. Even before you get views or listens or whatever. Like
Yeah.
just like I said, like the alchemy process of it and hearing the song back and stuff. So for me, it's it's a labor of love. You know what I'm saying? And I'm down to do the work. And I think the run that I went on last year with releasing all the music, it was more so that we're about to take a little dark turn real quick or whatever. 2022, I had a lot of friends pass away. Like I lost 6 friends in 2022
That is
alone, just that
brutal.
1 year.
Come on.
And I forget who said it, but I seen a clip of somebody talking about die empty. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
And I remember I was also very inspired by seeing Anderson .Paak got a tattoo after Mac Miller passed away that said, "Do not release any of my music after I die." Like he literally had to tattoo it on his body. So like, do not under any circumstances, if it is on my hard drive and it didn't get put out, leave it there. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
So I really thought about that. Like, I got 200, like Joel Santana said, I got 1,000 songs on lock stash, like Pac had. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to die with none of my music on my hard drive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to leave. One, I didn't want the artistic control of it aspect, like, because I'm very particular about how I want my artwork done, how I want my mixes to sound, how I want my rollouts to be, everything. Like, because out of necessity, I've had to have my hands in everything. I was blessed early on in my career that I had a great team of people around me. Like, I had a full staff. I was spoiled when I'm like, once I really, really started rapping and kind of got the ball rolling, I was spoiled. I had a manager. I had a day-to-day manager / assistant / A&R. I had a big homie that was in the streets that was putting up the money for the studio time and the merch and everything and booking artists at Ace of Spades. Shout out Sammy Bundles. He would have me open for the artists that he was bringing out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I was spoiled. I had a lot of opportunities that I was afforded early on that, I feel like a lot of people, once you lose those things or whatever, they probably would have quit. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, for me, it's like I learned from everybody that was around me. I learned from my boy Dunny, who's at one point was the CEO of Revolt and was like Diddy's right hand man and was doing all the media for Puff. That was my graphic designer. So it's like I said with the Photoshop, I wish I would have stuck with it. But it's like I had a lot of great artistic energy around me rubbing off. You know what I'm saying? I had an in-house production team with Chase Moore and Hippie Sabotage. Chase Moore was my engineer / producer. Hippie Sabotage was producing on my music. And shout outs to them because I'm about to actually go back out on the road with them next week.
They're coming to SAC.
Yep. They're coming to SAC. Let me know. I'll put you guys on the guest list. Definitely come through.
No way. I think it's March 25th, as a matter of fact.
Yep. Pop out for sure.
Let's go.
But yeah, just me not wanting to have, like, if I'm recording at a pace of 10 to 20 songs a month, and I've been doing that for the last 3 to 4 years, creating at that space, at that rate, ever since I got a home studio set up, you know what I'm saying? I've been making music at pretty much that rate. So after a while, you look up and you got all this music. It's like, all right, what am I doing with it?
Yeah.
Like, what is stopping me from releasing more music?
Yeah.
And it's like, I think 2023, I did an album called Constructive Cynicism. And that was like the first album that I was like really happy with how I put the album together by myself. Like, I had a little help on some of the projects before that. And then that was the first one. It's like, all right, there's nobody around.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna do this, I have to do everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the only part that kind of feels like work is like the logistical stuff.
Yeah.
Like sitting behind the computer, having to upload the catalog to ASCAP for the publishing and sending emails for splits for producers and stuff like that. And I have yet to have AI generate an email or a write up or something for me or whatever. So it's like all that stuff is just coming from me. So
That's dope.
yeah, it just really comes from just not of wanting to die empty and not having the like I said, the artistic control, but also the responsibility. Like I have it written in my will that literally like, all right, Nashua is in charge of all the music when I pass.
Yeah.
And Todd's Hall is in charge of all the artwork. And Pete Space is in charge of all the mixing and mastering. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully between the three of them and them spending enough time around me or whatever, they would know how I would kind of want the stuff, put out. But I don't want to leave that responsibility on nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if there is music to be put out after I pass away, it's gonna be a very little amount. You know what I mean?
That's
so
dope, man. Emptying the tank. I love it.
mhm.
I caught something in what you just said there, and it was, you're going through some stuff that would make some others, other people would quit. You know what I'm saying? Were you ever at the point? Were you ever at the point where you felt like you wanted to quit, or you always push through? What is this journey? How has it challenged you, man?
I'm actually planning to retire
Mm.
in 2 years. So when I turn
Mm.
40, I'm gonna retire from releasing
Cool.
music.
Let's go.
I'm not gonna be done with the music industry, but I'm gonna shift my focus to other things. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Because I really feel like I'm in the process of that now. I have 2 artists that I'm working with, Nia Joe and Dibley Picasso,
Uh-huh.
and I'm executive producing their albums. So it's kind of like a proof of theory of, all right, I've done this for me 30 times. Like,
Yeah.
I know how to do it for me, but does this work for other people?
Yeah.
Is the method or way I'm going about putting out music, is this tangible and sustainable for other people?
Mm.
So I think I'm gonna move more into that role
Mhm.
and like A&R and like help other artists and try and develop new talent. And then I don't even want to show my hand with what I'm about to do after that, but I already
I
kind
love
of
it.
have another thing that I'm gonna do after music. But I've never wanted to quit. Like
Yeah.
like I said, I'm planning to retire, like and fade to black gracefully, like
Yeah.
like Jay did.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna quit. I never thought
That's dope.
quitting because it's like this. I feel like all the real artists that I've looked up to, like when I watch interviews of them and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, cool. Like the money's nice, but I'll do this because I'm nice. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I would rap regardless. Like we were doing it because we love
Let's
to do it,
go.
not because we was trying to get paid.
Let's
And I
go.
think at some point rap became a hustle for a lot of people. And I can't knock the hustle at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're just rapping to try and get some money, like I think at one point I was a purist and was like, oh, that's whack. That's not hip hop.
Yeah.
Whoop whoop. But then also like, spending some time in the streets and stuff like that, I understood oh nah, if this is an exit plan for people, I can't be mad at that at
Yeah.
all. Like if you taking what you made doing something else and trying to wash the money and make it a legal venture, like I'm not knocking that in no type of way. Even if you are exploiting the culture in
Yeah.
some type of way, there's still a positive benefit to it because even if you're somebody that's not doing it with the purest intentions, you're still creating jobs and opportunities for other people.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You're still
Yep.
feeding families off what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can you be mad at that? You know what I mean? I can't knock that hustle. So,
Mm.
but for me, I would like, what Q-Tip says, like rapping nigga for real. You would catch me in the cypher if I didn't get a deal.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I feel. Like, I
Yeah.
would always be rapping, like, even if it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? And two, it's like, I got OGs, there's still like that. Like, I ran into the, to the homie Mike Jordan a couple weeks ago. I ran into Brew Lee last night. And it's like, those cats, like, that I was watching do shows and stuff when I was like 15, 16, and my grandma would drop me downtown, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm gonna come back and pick you up at 11 o'clock when the hip hop show's over. Like, you know what I'm saying? And she really sounds like, I have a white grandmother, so she really sounds like that. You know what I mean? Rest in peace. But you know what I'm saying? I still see those cats like go to the open mics
Yeah.
and rip it down. You know what I'm saying? Mike Jordan, a whole ass lawyer. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like, he don't have to go to the open mic and rap. You know what I'm saying? But he loved to do it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's like, that's kind of like been my approach to it from the jump. Like,
Yeah.
I'd always just do it because I love to do it.
Yeah. Oh man.
I mean, we had the Philharmonic on the lounge. That's man, we're big Christian fans.
Man, he's so talented.
He's so
and-
talented, man.
And I'm not just telling you this, but you're the only dude that I've heard in this city outside of the Philharmonic where I'm like, we got to get this dude famous. Like my heart just kind of broke when I heard you say you're gonna retire, but you all said you're still gonna be making music, so
Yeah.
that's good. So
Yeah, for sure.
selfishly, thank you. But like, why I feel like that's a good comparison is like there's just certain people that are just really special, and you can hear it. You can hear it through their music. And Christian's one of those people. And like, man, like if you listen to his story, it was just like, yes. Like he was hustling, doing a lot of the same stuff that you talked about on the algorithms.
I
and-
think I might sell drugs. I love that joint.
but I think really it was him putting himself out there, and then next thing you know, like a connection was made, and then boom, he was on Sway and Tag, and like just like boom, boom. It just kind of just kind of happened, you know. Then the Tiny Desk just kind of blew it up, man. So hopefully, part of your journey, somebody is gonna get a hold of you. Maybe that's not part of your journey, but I just appreciate the music you're making, man. Because like
Thank you.
I'm telling you, like like I listen to a lot of different music, but I find myself listening to hip hop the most. I'm a cyclist, so when I go on like 2-3 hour cycle rides,
Mm-hmm.
like part of the enjoyment for me is unplugging from the world and putting my AirPods in and listening to music. And you're in the rotation that's heavy with, like right now I'm listening to a shit ton of Conway the Machine, Boldy James, Larry June. But I like old stuff, like, you know, and the crazy stuff like you mentioned, like who's gonna have like control of your music if you were to pass away. Like the new Mobb Deep album,
Great.
oh
Amazing.
my word. And it's just so weird to me that you have to like remind yourself that you're listening to somebody who's not even living.
Mm-hmm.
And they did that. But you know, just to give you your flowers again, man, like you are like in the rotation with like some heavyweights. Who are some like people that we can find that are on your heavy rotation in the world of hip hop?
Man, you said it, man. Shout out Bojack. Shout out Bodie James, man. Like I seen, especially too, like, cause we come from like similar backgrounds. I think he could, if I'm judging off the lyrics, he was a little bit more deep off in it than I was or whatever. But when I met Bodie for the first time, I told him, I was like, bro, like when I'm in the crib, OT, like, cause I used to stay in New York. I was like, when we're, you know, doing the things that we're doing out there or whatever, like I had a song that he put out called 400,000 that I would have that on repeat. Like soon as the box land, like, yo, put that Bodie on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and for me, like seeing him go on the run that he went in on,
Crazy.
where it's just like, I think it is a testament to speaking from experience. When you have enough life experience with certain things or whatever, or a certain subject matter, you're not gonna run out of stuff to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So it's like seeing him just album after album after album. I've never heard a whack verse.
Nope.
There might be one or two songs I skip on them albums, but like for the most part, it's like to have an 80% success rate as far as like the music being good, and then you releasing 10 albums a year or something like that. You know what I mean? And it's also too, it just made it look like it made me understand that it's sustainable. You know what I'm saying? That you actually can do that. And a lot of people might feel like it's oversaturation, but I feel like you might be the same way. If I discover a new artist and if you get me for like 3 songs, I'm gonna listen to the album.
Yeah.
If I listen to the album, I like the album, I'm gonna listen to the other album.
Yeah.
And the other album after that. So if you're somebody that got a catalog of 20, 30 projects, I'm probably gonna listen to all 20, 30 projects.
Yep.
Like, so I'm looking at it like that. It's like, all right, if I could get into these other artists like that, you know what I'm saying? Like the Bodie Jameses, the West Side Guns, and two, also like the proximity of success. You know what I'm saying? Larry June was somebody that I was around early on in his career and seeing his come up to where it's like, nah, like that's mad inspiring. I seen somebody from around the way that I done brush shoulders with, like that did it this big.
Yeah.
I could do it too. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never been one of those type of people that's like hates on somebody else's success or whatever. I look at it as motivation and inspiration.
Yep.
So seeing like, you know, the run he went on or has been on and is still on, it's like, yo, like we could really do, you know, numbers. You know what I'm saying? As he said, you know what I'm saying? So you know, I really feel like it's one of those things, like you see that meme where it's like the 2 dudes digging and you see the one guy that's like right to the diamond and he quits. And then you see the guy that's like, he doesn't care how far he is to the diamond because he just is in love with the process. That's kind of how I look at it. And my man's Matt Cali told me that last night. He was like, bro, between all the music that you did and all the content that you're doing this year, he's like, I just feel like it has to work, bro. It has to work. Like there's no way you're putting this much work in and the product that you're producing is this good that it's just going to continue to not do big numbers or get the admiration and the attributes that you're looking to gain with the product that you're putting out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, there's an artist from Chicago named Panamera P, another cat that, you know, super talented, puts out a lot of music, but he had an album he just released called I Did Everything But Pray. And I thought about that. I was like, I pray 5 times a day, but like I definitely work harder than I pray.
Yeah.
So it's like that's kind of where I'm at with it now. It's
Man.
like
Damn.
maybe that's the missing element. Maybe I'm putting too much of the onus on me to struggle through without like, basically asking for help. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause it's like I kind of feel like, they say luck finds you when you're working. You know what I'm saying? It's a combination of preparation meets perfect timing. So it's like the only element now is like, you know what I'm saying? I like, God, I just need a favor real quick. You know what I mean? Like just a little, you know what I mean? And it's like he be showing me, bro. Like it be little things I can't really comment on or whatever, but it just be little stuff. Like I don't believe in coincidence. Like some stuff be so kismet to where it's like, oh, I know this is my granny up there, one of the homies up there just nudged, bro. Like, hey, just throw my op real quick.
Yeah.
Quick op. That's another thing too. I don't say op as in opera opposition. Opera is opportunity
Yeah.
for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The new op is opportunity. that's we're gonna quote that right
I
now
love
on
that.
the Legacy Lounge podcast.
I love that.
It's no longer the opposition. The new op is opportunity.
I love it. Hey, obviously I told you from Oakland, man. I love hearing your take on what, how the scene and when you're coming up, it looks like up here. And, obviously I'm a little bit older than you, but how unique the Bay Area is. You mentioned a couple people from the Bay Area you're tapped into, man. I'd love to get your take on the differences, the similarities, things that you've inspired you when it comes from Bay Area stuff, man.
Well, hold on, before you answer that though. So he says he's from Oakland, right? We're talking about like some of our favorite rappers. If you could have one guess at this man's favorite rapper, who do you think it would be? Now you got to keep in mind he's a little older than us. He's 40,
I was born in 80, so
he's 47. I'm 43. What are you, 37?
38.
Okay. So
I'm
if you-
46 though, man.
Oh, you so okay. So 46. Who do you think maybe might be his favorite rapper?
Too short?
No, that would have been my brother.
It's close.
It's close though. I'm a yuck mouth guy, man. That
Bro, the Thugulation.
Oh
Like,
man,
Are you
Hey.
a Yuck Mouth fan?
Yes.
Okay.
What? Yuck Mouth Godzilla? What? What he say? Like, I ride the wheels of fortune like Pat Sajak in the
Man.
black Maybach. I'm trying to bring the Bay back.
Let's
like,
go.
Yuck Mouth
Let's go.
at one point was the best lyricist on the West Coast.
That's what I'm saying. Hey,
You know what I'm saying? Like, bar for
Holy
bar,
shit.
Let's
I didn't
Yuck
know.
was
Let's
the
go.
best at one point. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he's one of those people that kind of fell victim to like the politics of the music
Yeah.
industry and stuff like that. And you know what I'm saying? But people don't understand how big it was, how big a machine Rap-A-Lot Records was in the 90s, and for us to have an artist that was signed to Rap-A-Lot. And then also too, I got 5 on it. How long has that song stood the test of time? You know what I'm
Man.
saying?
Yeah.
Like there's
Classic.
like when you say hip hop classics, like I feel like
Come
that's
on.
top 20, top 50
Come on.
most
Hey,
classic hip hop songs
yes,
of all
sir.
time. You know what I'm saying?
yes, sir.
But yeah, Yuck is extremely underrated as a lyricist, has put out great albums, and yeah.
That
you
Yuck
gotta
Mouth
give-
song, it's in my motherfucking blood. I swear I could fucking play that on a repeat. I mean, how the story happened, I love sharing this story, but me and this dude been friends for like maybe a couple years. He takes me on my birthday to Tahoe. We play golf all day, casinos, spent the night. We were drinking up. We were up late. So I wake up super hungover. And we grabbed coffee, and the entire 2-hour drive back home, all we listened to was Yuck Mouth. He was like, "Man, this is what we're listening to." I'm gonna, like, play this for you. So shout out Yuck Mouth.
I mean, I love obviously Bay Area rap. I grew up around, like literally 2 doors down. Keek the Sneak grew up, so I'm listening while he's in junior high. He went to Bret Hart, and first time I'm hearing him rap, he has a song "Don't You Ever Come to the Heart," like, you know what I'm saying, from junior. So we tied into a lot of it. We got our own language down there. Is dope. Now, at the same time, people gonna be listening to me here and like, man, I never heard him talk like that. I told you I'm square as hell now. So it came a long way. But at the same time, I just appreciate all of that stuff that never got big. I'm just because of how much and how long you've been in this game. I love to get your take on it. You know what I'm saying?
So the Bay Area is like when you got that bigger cousin
Mhm.
that you look up to and you want to dress like and be like or whatever, but he's constantly giving you noogies and
Yeah.
clowning you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's out of love,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
also too like it's like, and then you grow up. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
And you're
yeah.
like, I'm not the little cousin no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you're always gonna be the little cuz to the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's, I feel like, in comparison to, not just the cities in general, but like the music scene as well. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? But we get a lot of our game, our slang, and everything comes from the Bay Area or whatever, and then Sac just puts that Valley spin on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got our own tweak, our own way we do things out here or whatever, but it's definitely influenced from the Bay Area. And I think a lot of it too, like, if we just being transparent, in the last couple years, you know, so at first it was us, but now it's kind of another spot in the Valley, like Stockton has had like a big influence, I feel. But if you listen to the sound of the production and stuff like that, it's like everything's like real full circle, right? So it's like I feel like everybody was kind of doing the Mozzie sound for like a couple years ago, and that is June on the Beat. You know what I'm saying? June on the Beat, I know, was obviously influenced by the mob sound, the mob shop, Rob Lowe, and the Sam Bostick's, and you know what I mean, those type of real mob heavy production. You know what I'm saying? And he kind of revamped that sound with his own flavor. And then I feel like that kind of has been the influence, had a big influence on the Bay Area the last couple years. And then now with the Stockton cats, you got Young Echo and like dudes that's making like the EBK type beats or whatever, and you hear everybody rapping on those. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a ping pong back and forth thing. You know what I'm saying? They get some stuff from us, we get some stuff from them, and it's just one big gumbo pot. You know what I'm saying? But we definitely like, there's nobody that I deal with or talk to in the Bay Area, music wise, or just homies like that don't have a great love or respect for Sacramento. You know what I'm saying? I think it's one of those things where there's always been that weird like division of like, you know what I'm saying? Like people think the Bay or that Sac wants to be like the Bay or be part of the Bay. And it's like, nah, we got our own flavor out here, but we definitely get some of the seasoning from y'all. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa.
I don't think, man, Sibo was it when I was growing up, man. I listened to more than Town Cats. Like, and it wasn't just me. He was part of us growing up, like 100%. Sure. So, listen, I never felt like it was a battle against it, man. We appreciate real talent, you know? So, I mean, big time. I love hearing that, man.
I grew up off Sibo for sure. Even before I was even into hip hop really like that, I remember hearing "Money by the Time."
Hey, that was it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and birds in the kitchen, palms itching. Well, I'm thinking it's gonna cook a quarter chicken. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and those are such if you know type things or whatever. Because it's like I get older and then it's like I hear these stories of like, oh nah, like the dude he's shouting out on the songs, Ballin' Ass Mondo, like that was like a real dude. You know what I'm saying? Like. And then like shout out Holotip. He's like another name I don't hear come up enough.
Man.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Flawless. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I remember hearing all these songs as a kid, like 8, 9 years old. Like I'd hear cars driving by playing this stuff or whatever before I was even like in it. My earliest experiences with hip hop, to be all the way honest, it was Crisscross, MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then after that, it was whatever was getting played on mainstream radio. So if it was on 103.5 The Bomb or 102, like I probably heard it, but I wasn't into like anything outside of that until, like I said, like until I got my own experiences, like 12, 13 years old, I started finding like stuff out for myself. And one of the big things, like, you know, shout out Oakland and the Bay Area, because I still have big ties to those dudes to this day, but hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics was like real big for me because it was like, all right, these dudes is like backpack underground or whatever, but they got like a little bit more like edge to them and what they talking about and like the things that they on. You know what I'm saying? Like to where it's like, and then you get older and you figure out it's like, oh, these are all town cats. Like, you know what I'm saying? They got that Bay Area game. They was just making more underground type music.
Yep, no doubt, man. I did a little recon on you as well, man. Young Murph the Kid is my guy. Shout out to Young Murph.
Man, shout out Young Murph.
So I wasn't sure. Hey, listen, his immediate response was like, that MFer is hella talented. He's always been the most solid dude ever. I grew up with him, so I was just trying to find out, see if I could get any. I was like, y'all do anything together? He's like, nothing that came out, but man, he's one of the best around. So.
Man, shout out Murph too. He just cut the dreads and he
he
posted a song the other day that was just him basically talking about like I don't want to misquote him, but it was basically him in the song asking God to like realign his steps with what God wants for him. You know what I'm saying? And like that super cut through to me and like where I'm at in my life right now. Like how I said, I feel like I'm doing everything. Like I'm working hard, but I'm not praying hard enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I definitely felt what he was saying on that. But Murph is another one where it's it's some of these dudes that be in these rooms that have put their pen on stuff or just been a fly on the wall or contributed to things. It's like you might not know that they was such an integral part of like some of the
Man.
things that are going on. I feel like Murph was like a big factor in like when like the Bay had the resurgence of like HBK and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I feel like he was one of those artists that like really was contributing a lot of sauce at that time.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? And he might not always get the credit for it, but
I
shout out Murph,
agree.
man. If you know, you know. You know
Yes,
what I'm saying?
sir. Yes, sir, man. That's big. I love it, man.
Talk about how you met Epic, because I obviously at a lot of albums that you've made, I would say that album you made with Epic is just absolutely legendary.
I think that might be
repeat.
one of my best albums. Like,
Mm.
it's hard for me because
Yeah.
it's like albums that I'm like maybe more emotionally attached to or
Yeah.
whatever. But there's a couple things that made that album like, especially it is like you said, Epic and Pete Space, the engineer, are probably the reason I think that album sounds the way it does. I've never sat in a studio and listened to somebody mix one snare or one bass line for like 30, 45 minutes on just one sound. Like they spent so much time making sure everything sounded right. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time my homegirl Divine was braiding my hair
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in the back of Amina and they're mixing. And she said, and I'm irritated at it by this point. Like this is like the 5th, 6th session of us mixing this album. And it's like I done mixed whole albums in 2 sessions.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're on the 6th session and y'all only like 3 songs in. What's going on? Like,
Yeah.
and she's like, am I tripping or have they been playing the same drum pattern over and over again for the last 30 minutes? And I'm like, yes, they've been doing this every session. Like they're super meticulous. Everything has to sound perfect.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons I feel like that album sounds the way it does. One, we didn't rush it. We worked on that album on and off like for like 4 years. You know what I'm
Damn.
saying? And then I
Damn.
think
That's
the third thing,
incredible.
I don't write a lot of my lyrics. Like
Mm.
and people always say like, oh, you're freestyling. It's like, no, like when you do something for so long, it's like I don't have to put the pen to paper to write. Like I could
Mhm.
literally write it in my head and memorize it in my head.
Mm.
But that was the first album that I did probably since like I think I maybe wrote some of All City, which was my first like official album that came out in 2011. But after that, like, so what happened one day is I went to the studio with an artist named Game Boy who goes by his government name Marcus now. Super dope cat. You guys should check him out. But this is like right around the time Fade to Black came out.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the studio with this cat. He done seen Fade to Black 4 or 5 times. Oh, Jay's the best rapper. Jay don't write his lyrics. I'm not gonna write my lyrics no more.
Mm.
And I went to the studio and they put the beat on. And I'm sitting there writing my rap. And he just walking around mumbling, pacing. And then he go in the booth and he lay the verse in like 3 takes without writing it down. And they come out the booth, I'm like, you didn't put your phone out and type it in your phone? Did you have the verse already written? You memorized it? He's like, no, I heard the beat for the first time when you did. Me being the best rapper out my friend group and everybody
Yeah.
that I'm around, and then being in the studio with somebody that like just did something like that, it was like a real like ego blow. Like,
Ooh.
oh nah, like I can't write my raps no more.
Yeah.
What? There's people that don't write their raps. Like, I'm not writing my raps no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? So ever since then, I hadn't really been writing like that. When we did the Epic album, I intentionally put pen to paper for
Yeah.
every single song. So even songs like I written in my phone, like, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I've been just memorizing everything. So that was like the first album since like a decade plus that I had actually wrote raps physically.
Huh.
And I think it kind of shows in like the cadences, the diction, the tone. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
it hit different when you're, and it's not like I'm reading it off the paper, but it's like you have a different connection with the lyrics when you write them down. It's like how they say, like when you spell things out, you're actually casting spells. It's like that. And I think that's why that album sounds the way it does. And too, it just got that raw, gritty hip hop element. It got scratching on it. He did a lot of work. I'm always a fan of like, I don't want to call it like filler, but like the little tidbits of stuff, like when you have like audio clips and like movie clips and like interview clips and stuff like that, like sprinkled throughout albums, like that's always been like my favorite stuff. Like Madlib and Alchemist and like all my favorite producers all had that in their music. You know what I'm saying? So that album has a lot of that, and I think that's why it stood out the way it did.
The album was on repeat in my car for like months. That let's even like break it down even more. Let's talk about my favorite track on that album. Let's talk about the track with Planet Asia.
Man,
Hold
shout
on.
out PA, man.
That song is so freaking hard. On the last verse you do, where you talk about something about the Sac State where the hornets buzz, like, oh my good Lord, bro. You went ham on that. So like, did you meet Planet Asia? Like, how did that song come together? Walk us through that.
So Planet Asia was like, my brother used to play Planet Asia a lot. Like, there was at one point that like they were comparing Planet Asia, like when he first came out, they was kind of comparing Planet Asia to like a West Coast Nas. You know what I'm saying? So I remember hearing PA a lot when I was younger. And then shout out my boy Blee, who's kind of like my big cousin uncle. Like him and my brother are god brothers. They moms are best friends growing up. He brought PA around a lot early on in my career. You know what I'm saying? Like he did a lot of shows in SAC or whatever. So Planet Asia was one of the first like established rappers that had like credentials that I got to be around. You know what I'm saying? And that was also really important for me because it's like you kind of like hold people in a higher regard or whatever, and then you realize like, oh, this is like a regular dude. Like he cool as shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he not big headed or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? And too, and you know, as a practicing Muslim, he was one of the first 5%ers I met too. And I think that was like seeing somebody on that type of time when I was younger too was probably really important for me. But it was just kind of like, and he's also somebody that went on one of those runs where it's just like, nah, like I make 100 songs a year. We putting 5 albums out. You know what I'm saying? Like there ain't no reason to sit on the music. You know what I mean? But literally it ain't take nothing but a text or a DM. Like Epic hit me one day, was like, yo, Planet Asia, I just seen he's in Sacramento. You have his number? Can you hit him up? I literally texted him, he came to the studio, he did the verse in like 20 minutes.
Come on, bro.
Like, swear to God. He wrote that verse and recorded that verse in like 20 minutes.
So when you heard that beat, well, first of all, like what was going through you when you, I mean, a lot of the beats on that album are fire, but that beat specifically,
I honestly think it was Epic's idea to get Planet Asia on there.
Okay.
Like we knew we had certain spots that like, so like the song that Nash is on and like the song that like, we purposely knew we were going to get features on those songs. We just didn't know who. And then it was like when he seen that Planet Asia was out, he was like, yo, that one that we got, I think he would be a good fit for that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not 100% sure. I think I went back in and did the third verse after he did that verse. You know what I'm saying? Because it was one of those like, you can't dust me off like that. Like I gotta go back in. So I'll never be one of those like if I do a song and I send it with an open verse and somebody wash me on the song, I'm not gonna redo my verse.
Yeah.
But that was a situation where it's like, I'm not gonna redo my first verse, but I'm gonna add a second verse.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But yeah, shout out to PA, man. That's really like one of my big bros in this music game and somebody that I've gotten a lot of advice from and it's just always like an open book. Like a lot of people gatekeep information and are like undercover haters, especially when it's somebody that's younger than you and talented. Like they might not be so quick to embrace, and he's never been like that. And that's with me and with all the other artists I've seen him collaborate with. Like he's definitely an elder statesman in I don't want to call it underground rap no more, but it's like this new emergence of what the underground scene has been over the last couple of years. It's like I feel like he's definitely one of those guys.
How did you meet Epic? When how was that a long time ago?
Epic, without putting him on black, Epic used to be the weed man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I met Epic when I was probably like 15, 16 years old, him DJing and Get a Clue before I even worked there. You know what I'm saying? And then I would see him come around my brother. You know what I'm saying? Him and my brothers had a relationship he made. And how I really, really got to know Epic was my brother used to be in a group. My brother was in 3 groups. So in high school, he was in a group called Fulu Camp, Federation of Underground Lyricists United. And then after high school, he was in a group with his partner Fred called Hostile Environment. Then at one point, they added my brother's cousin Z.O., aka New Money. Free him, he locked up, he incarcerated right now. They added Zoe to the group, so then Hostile Environment went from being a duo to a 3-man group. Then Fred got a good job, got married, kind of fell back from the rap or whatever, and then it was just Nashua and Zoe. and they formed the group Racks Anonymous. But from the Hostile Environment album to the Racks Anonymous stuff, always my favorite beats like were the ones that Epic did. And I'd always tell my brothers like, yeah, your album cool, but like they had a lot of Goldfingers and like Mark Knox production on there, which like super talented brothers, right? But they had that super West Coast sound, like heavy synths, like, you know what I'm saying? This is like pre-hyphy, so it was like Dog Pound, like West Coast type vibe or whatever. Now, you know, I came up on like more East Coast type hip hop and stuff like that, so I wasn't really super into those songs, but they always had a good 2 or 3 epic sample beats on there. So I'd always tell my brother like, yo, who's the dude that did? He had one song that sounded like, I was like, yo, you got a song in here that sounds like the Christmas music that they play in the mall. Like, you know what I'm saying? It sounded like you got like a sleigh bell in it or something. He's like, oh yeah, that's epic. I was like, man, what I got to do to get some beats from him?
Yeah.
So that was like my first like producer that I really like wanted to work with when I was younger.
Sir.
You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I got older and started doing my thing. I think it was one of those things where it's like I kind of had to like show people that I was serious before they would take me serious. Because it's like when you think DJ Epic, it's like first thing that comes to mind is like, you did beats for Mac Dre. You got a song with Mos Def. Like, you know what I'm saying? I remember hearing that on the radio when I was younger. Like, and not only you got a song with Mos Def, it's the intro to that album, and he shouts you out before the beat come on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mac Dre shouts you out. And he told me the story of that or whatever. Like, Mac Dre didn't want to record the song until he got confirmation that Epic hadn't sold the beat to somebody else. So it's like when the beat switch comes on I forget what song it is, but he says like, I had to get the call from up top. Hey, Epic, is it cool? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, bro, like you got so much. You're such a legend, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, sometimes I be like, it'd be crazy, like to, you know, this is the Legacy Lounge. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm amongst legends. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes, and I think this goes for a lot of people too, like you got people around you that are literally like, you might not look at them like that because you're around them every day, but people from the outside looking in, like think that these people are legendary. Like I was outside my apartment the other day and the Amazon driver, like I'm talking to the homie and the Amazon driver's like, hey, are you C+? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I didn't even see you, bro. I heard your voice.
Man.
I heard your voice when I was in the car. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I just knew that was your voice. And I'm like, damn, I done put out so much music that somebody could recognize me talking and know that that's my voice. That's crazy.
That's
you know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, shout out to Epic, the legend. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, that doesn't like, just because Dustin's my friend, like that doesn't like not weigh on me that like he's the legend that he is. You know what I'm saying?
I used to work at Jack's Urban Eats and Paisanos.
Nice.
And this is when I was 17 years old. But Epic was such a big deal back then that I remember him coming to Jack's Urban Eats and I'd be like elbowing like the dudes that I'm working with. I'm like, fucking DJ Epic is here. And
he does Tanel 21, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
and by the way, salt of the earth. Like as far as just a nice human being,
bro.
He's one of the nicest human beings,
coolest dude ever.
And how you're giving him his flowers, just to kind of bring it back, just to kind of give you your flowers again. When Weston Ramirez and I were hanging out with him, and I was on one. I was having a very good time.
Hey, if you education out of concert, that's what you're supposed to do.
But when I was telling him my case of you know, greatest rappers in Sacramento, like he was absolutely affirming what I was saying. Like he's just as big of a fan of yours as you are of his. And that album you guys made, again, man, incredibly special. We're gonna get Dustin in here.
Let's go.
This dude's just a Sacramento freaking legend. And every time I see Dustin, I feel like I have to bring up one of my favorite hip hop albums that I've ever listened to in my life was Verbatim. And I'm telling you, like, and I ran into, is it Tenacious?
Tenacious, yeah.
Okay, I ran into her hella randomly at my fiance's best friend's, I don't know, like graduation party. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this Tenacious. I have to meet her. And I mean, I don't even think she might rap. I don't know. But I was just telling Dustin this, like, when that album came out, I was like, this is the greatest thing I've heard in Sacramento history. I mean, this was like back during Cuff days.
Mm-hmm.
I was more of a Living Legends fan. Like, I still am a Living Legends fan, but that Verbatim album, man.
Bruh.
So that tells you something. If Dust, that was
Shout out Blowzart.
crazy.
Mm.
I'm glad that you know about that album.
That album still gets talked about. Them early Cuff albums still get talked about. Even The Cause. You guys remember The Cause?
Yep.
Like The Cause. Like I remember before I even started doing my thing, like I started like going to like poetry slams and open mics probably like around like 15, 16. I started, first time I ever wrote a rap, I was 12 years old, you know what I'm saying? But like once I got my little, enough to, I'm gonna pick the mic up and actually go rock in front of some people or whatever, I was going to like Tribal Levi shows and Cause shows and Cuff shows and stuff. Like, and actually, funny story, OG Crush from the Cuff saved my life one night. Like, I got in an altercation with somebody, and I was about to overreact in the situation, and he seen that I was about to overreact, and he literally grabbed me and was like, "Youngin, you about to throw your life away. Don't do that." You know what I'm saying? Like, and literally saved my life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's so important that we have these OGs and these elder statesmen in the city that we do, and that they've been so embracive of the younger generation. Because now it's like when I go out and it's still kind of hard for me to accept that I'm OG and I'm Unc now, you know what I'm saying? But I see like the respect that these young dudes have for our generation.
Yeah.
And I think it comes from the fact that we were embraced by the generation that was before us, and that they didn't hate on us, you know what I'm saying? So it's like they instilled in us to like on some each one teach one, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm always trying to give as much game I can to the younger generation, and also be receptive of the game too, because it's like they know a lot, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, just because somebody's might not be the same age as you doesn't mean they don't have more experience than you in certain aspects or whatever. So I always got an open ear to the youth or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I try to pass the torch as much as possible, you know what I'm saying? Because the torch was passed to me, so.
That's dope. That's all some legacy stuff, and I would like to start touching on that. But just before I ask the questions about legacy, to put into context, you've been in this game for a long time. Success to you when you first got in this game, how you viewed it compared to success and what you view it as now. I would love to get a little context of what that thought process was then versus now, how long you've been in this game.
I got the same goal that I had. It's super simple. It's maybe about 3 or 4 cars that I wanted. It don't gotta be a mansion, don't even gotta be a mini mansion. I just want a nice crib that's paid for. I smoke about a £1/4 a month. And I want to be able to take a nice vacation. And if I do eventually have children, I would like to be able to afford to put them through college.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Yes,
like,
sir.
I don't, no more, no less. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not looking at it like, success to me hasn't been defined by material things as much as it's been defined by like weight off my shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Like, I said that on the album with album called Plus and Multiply, add and multiply. It's the symbols, the plus sign and comma X or whatever. And this is kind of will show you how full circle things in this game are and how long I've been doing it. The producer on addition and multiplication is my niece's fiance.
Finesse God?
Finesse God. Yes. So I have a line on there where I said, the monkey on my back is poverty. It's not drug use. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and I have another line, I'm not sure if it's on that album, where I said, it's like, I know great things don't come from comfort zones, but I know I could be great if I was just a little more comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing is like, I feel like I'm glad that I've been able to learn how to cook and learn how to grow pot and do construction work and landscaping and all these other things that I've done to pay my bills over the years. But I'm just chasing me being the freedom of being able to be a full-time artist.
Yeah.
It's not a material aspect as much as it is just that freedom that I'm looking for. So that the freedom to create without boundaries is what defines success to me.
That's a great answer.
By the way, that album.
My God.
That's the album where I found out about you. That's the Weston was sharing some tracks off that album. I think my favorite track on that album, I really like, is it Fire Boots?
Bro, yes.
It's a very now here's the thing. This is like why you're getting to know me. You're getting to know what my ear's like. That seems kind of like a simple song. Like if that makes sense. Like it's like there's not a lot to it. but how soulful it is, almost like emotional in a
Mhm.
way. It's a phenomenal track, bro.
I'm not sure what the defining point was. It's like, because I've always been, so it's like, if you listen to my first album, the outro to that album, All City, is a song called Pass Me the Light. And that's the first time I really talk about my mom's drug use and incarceration and like how I grew up and stuff like that. Everything else before that was just kind of like almost like surface level. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I could credit a couple artists to that made me be more comfortable with being emotionally expressive on songs or be more vulnerable and talk about some of my not so cool experiences and stuff like that. I think the earliest one was rest in peace to the Jacka. You know what I'm saying? Like hearing him talk about like him stopping, like he's rhyming one way and then he stops like after he says something really fucked up and just says like, damn, I should have stayed in school or something. Like talking about like I just caught a case and did this, that, and the third, and he just stops the rhyme pattern just to stop and say, damn, I should have stayed in school or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that just cut through so much to me. But and also this rapper from Philadelphia named Kurt. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Kurt. But Kurt got popular by being extremely vulnerable about how his childhood was and having a mom that was addicted to drugs and fighting homelessness at 18, 19 when he got out of high school and having to get on his feet as a young man and like figure out life for himself. And like I remember like listening, he's one of those people that I was listening to like when I was going through hard times. And it's like as some inspiration and motivation. And I really sat back and I'm like, yo, I have a lot of the similar experiences guy does, and I don't talk about none of this stuff. Like, what's preventing me from being vulnerable like this?
Yeah.
And it's really like, I think it comes from being in a small town and everybody knowing each other to where it's like, oh, I'm not sharing this stuff because I'm embarrassed about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want people to judge me based off these experiences.
Yeah.
But now that I'm relating to somebody that has had some of these same experiences, who am I to not do the same? And I remember I did one of those bigger shows at Ace of Spades. I forget who I opened up for, if it was like Schoolboy Q or somebody. And somebody came up to me after I performed and they're like, yo, your performance was so good, but bro, it was a dude and his wife. And shout out to them if they happen to be listening to this. But the lady looked like she almost had tears in her eyes. And she was like, yo, that song on the end of your album where you talk about your grandmother and your mom, like, that's my song. Like, that's that one. Like, and that moment stuck out to me like, okay, everything else I rap about is cool, but what's cutting through and connecting is that.
Yes.
So I need to lean more into that. So I think around the time that I did addition and multiplication, excuse me, is like when I started I did it a little bit more before that, but that's around the time that I decided like, nah, I'm really gonna do this more. You know what I'm saying? And even if the song isn't 100% about this, I'm gonna splash this in between the swaggy talking about other stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you gonna get some of this real life in here too. You know what I mean?
I
Love it. I mean, that it reminds me of another one of my favorite rappers, Rex Live Raj, and the Blue album. I'm like, I don't think I can talk about any hip hop album that has like therapeutic, and it's unique because like, I mean, my dad passed away, but like you're so engaged in that album that you're experiencing his pain with him.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting fake teary-eyed thinking about it. The first time, I avoided listening to that album for about 6 months, right? Because I watched, shout out Rex Live Raj, off top. I watched a lot of what he was doing and the impact that it was having. And I was like, oh, this is one of those albums. I don't think I'm ready to listen to that right now.
Wow.
And when I finally got around to, I could tell you, I could pinpoint the exact moment I was listening to that album. I was doing laundry and I had my headphones on and he gets to, I forget what song it is. It's maybe 3 songs in and I'm in the laundry room folding my clothes. I broke down crying. And that album, when I talked about how I lost all those friends in 2022, that album helped me get through that a lot. Like, and shout out Tim House, who manages Rex Like Roger, is road manager. He gave me a lot of insight and input about how that album was connecting with people when they were on the road.
Mm.
And he was like, yeah, he's like, to watch this dude have to have a very heavy conversation with somebody every single night
That's
because
wild.
of how his album has affected people.
Mm.
It's like
Wow.
it gave everybody around him, and this is coming from his road manager telling me this, like a sense of purpose for what they're doing.
That's
you know what I'm
dope.
saying? Like that realizing like, yeah, we're making music, but we're also like touching people like in a real way. You know what I'm saying? And I think that has a longer lasting impact than, oh, you made a cool song that you play in the club.
That's so dope, man. Woo-wee.
I mean, this shit's important. I mean, like music for so many people it's the gateway to getting over something that they're going through. You know what I mean? Like it's like when you're working all day and you have that time by yourself, like my favorite thing when I'm driving in the car is listening to music. Like that's like my sanctuary is in my car because it's one of the few places where I'm all alone. You know what I mean? Like music is special, and I super applaud you, and I applaud the rappers like Rex Live Raj that get it, that are willing to step out on that ledge and make vulnerable music, because at the end of the day, like you know, vulnerability is difficult because you're pretty much pushing those feelings down of like, man, what are people gonna think of this? And you're just being real. You know what I mean? And I love it. I love seeing vulnerability out of grown men too, man. Like it's
a sign of emotional intelligence.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's too crazy. It also speaks a lot to the growth, because if you would have told me the same dude that came out with Moxie Java would have gone on to make the Blue album, I probably wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah.
Like vocally and like tone wise, yes, but content wise,
Yeah.
nah. Like, and that just speaks to the duality of man and being a well-rounded artist, because he still got slaps and like funny songs and euphemisms in his music and stuff like that. But the thing that cut through the most, like you said, is that vulnerability.
Yeah, he's a bad man. A song, he's got a couple tracks with, you know, he's also a really good rapper. I wasn't expecting this. Like, I put him up there with some of the tops of the tops. Is Damian Lillard.
Bro, I feel like Damian Lillard gets graded on a curve as a rapper because he's a professional athlete.
Yep.
If he didn't hoop,
Oh.
he would still be just as nice as he is. And I feel like people don't give him his credit or his flowers as a rapper because he's the basketball player that he is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, shout out Dame Lillard, man.
Super, super soulful.
Yep.
I mean, you kind of shared it. By the way, I want to talk about a couple of your endeavors. So, you grow weed?
Yes, not currently. I'm not currently growing anywhere right now, but I am a decade plus legal cannabis. I've done almost every aspect you can of legal growing, from the actual cultivation to packaging and quality control to doing metric and data inputting to doing clone propagation to so it's like the way I got into the legal cannabis game was like the most mafia thing ever. Like I had a dude named Josh Bruno, Marine veteran, fought in Afghanistan. He just used to be around a lot of the rappers that I knew at the time. And people like Josh are so important because Josh didn't rap, Josh didn't produce. Josh literally just was a supporter and a fan of a lot of the talent in Sacramento. So that's how I knew him, was just from being around, I think, like Righteous Movement. It was a group when I was younger. Shout out Thiek. It was just his birthday the other day. But Josh used to be around them a lot back in the day. And he called me one day and was like, hey, I have a business proposal for you. Can I take you to lunch? And I'm thinking about talk about doing some music or something like that or whatever. And he just super simply was like, yeah, so I heard you know a lot about weed and you're trustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
Those two things. That was it.
That's
He's like,
needed.
I heard you're trustworthy and you know a lot about weed. And I was like, both of these things are true. You know what I'm saying? He's like, okay, well, me and my brother are opening a dispensary. I would like you to come work there. So I started off as a bud tender. Then Prop 19 happened and things got really weird with weed. And a lot of dispensaries closed because it became too expensive to operate. Then I went to do a lot of maybe not so legal endeavors with cannabis, and then found my way back into the legal side of things. I owe a lot of it to this dude that we will refer to as Kim Dog. Kim Dog used to have me trim weed at his house all the time, and he was the first person that I seen operating a full scale grow like solo.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, bro, how are you doing all this by yourself?
Mm.
And he's like, well, if you really want to know, I'll show you. You know what I'm saying? And then that relationship led to me having a legal job at a cultivation that he was running. And then when that ended, which funny is because that situation ended because they had budget cuts and stuff to do and they had to make layoffs. And it was literally like, oh, well, you have a budding rap career, so you don't need this job. And I'm like, well, who said that? Like what? Why? But so it just, you know, I just bounced from grow to grow to grow after that. And I've probably, if there's 40 grows in Sacramento, I've probably worked at about 15 of them.
Yeah.
In some capacity, whether I was an actual employee or I was doing behind the scenes work there. And it's something that's afforded me a lot of opportunities and opened a lot of doors for me. And I love cooking. I hate working in restaurants.
Yeah.
It's just the workflow, the intensity of it, the damage that it does to your nervous system.
Yeah.
Like it's very high stress, high anxiety.
Yeah.
And it's kind of taken my love of cooking away in a way. But even when I've had like really strenuous, hard cultivation jobs, it's still extremely rewarding. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that cooking isn't rewarding too, but it's like there's been times where it's just literally me running a whole situation by myself, and I'm just in there with me, the plants, and the music.
Yeah.
And it's like that's probably the most that I'm at peace outside of the studio.
No doubt.
So that, like, weed's always been a part of my life since I was like 13 years old or whatever, but there's been, and too, it's like, it got to a point where it's like my mom, like, actually respected what I was doing in cannabis. Like, she, you know, I got kicked out the house for selling weed. So it's like when I was able to turn that into, like, actually a career. And I remember at one point she was just like, so what you gonna do? You just gonna sell weed forever? And I'm like, well, if it keeps paying me and it's legal, then yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, it's great and it's blessed we live in California. And like I said, I'm glad it's a skill set that I developed over time. And it's also one of those things where it's just like I've done it for a decade plus, but like there's still so much I can learn about it. And it's so much room for growth and I can get so much better at doing things. And I'm constantly finding out something new. And then also, too, my journey with sobriety has changed my respect for the plant and my relationship with marijuana, too. So it's like me not smoking and then not being able to sleep at all because I have very bad PTSD and get, like, full-blown night terrors where I wake up in cold sweats. And it's like, oh, serotonin suppression. This is why I sleep good when I smoke weed. Like, you know what I mean? So
Are you not smoking right now?
Nah.
What about drinking?
Nah.
100% sober.
100% sober.
Is this like a fairly new thing?
Nah, this is it's because it's Ramadan. And this is something that I didn't know. Like when I first started practicing Ramadan, I didn't know like when you break your fast at nighttime, you can break fast from the other things too. So you can drink at nighttime, you could smoke weed at nighttime or whatever. But because the first 2 years I did it and I didn't know this, I was just going completely sober for those 30 days. And it was just like, oh, well, I'm going to just keep doing this. Like, this is the way I should probably be doing it if it's having a positive effect on me. And I'm extremely more productive, I'm realizing, when I don't smoke weed. Not necessarily creatively, but because, like you're saying, I have to wear so many hats that a lot of my day-to-day as an artist is, like, more logistical stuff than it is me being creative. And it's definitely, the sobriety has definitely helped with that. To the point where it's like kind of to the like, I really don't see myself smoking weed unless it's during the daytime, unless it's like a social situation or I'm in the studio. Like I would like to continue to max out my time of sobriety to be productive then just only hit the blunt at nighttime.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's kind of therapeutic at nighttime.
Oh, for sure.
Like honestly, like I'm more on like edibles at night, and I don't even know. It's become a part of my nightly bedtime routine.
Especially if you get something with like the THC, CBD 1-1 or 1-2 or whatever. Like, and then too, it's just like traditionally for me, it's like after I eat like a big meal or something or whatever, it's just like I want a blunt so bad. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I just want to smoke one. Like,
Talk about real quick, and I could be wrong. I thought you were on the cooking. I thought you were like doing like independent type stuff. What's the cooking world look like? And by the way, I find it it makes sense that, you know, like outside of music, like I would say like eating good food and like just geeking out on food. It's such an art. It's an art form.
man, I got an extreme respect for the art form of cooking, and I think my relationship with the culinary industry is the way it is just because it's very socially acceptable in the cooking world to just like not to be an asshole, basically.
Oh shit.
Like, I don't know if people just watched the Gordon Ramsay or whatever and just thought that this is like how all kitchens are supposed to operate. But I've met more dickhead chefs than I have cool ones.
Damn.
And it's kind of similar to the music industry. I've met more asshole rappers than I have cool ones, down to earth people. You know what I'm saying? So what it does do is the ones that aren't like that do treat people kindly and with respect, it makes you hold them in a higher regard.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But when I first started cooking, I was working with a group called Our Friends, which was basically just like a staffing agency for catering events. And they would partner with bigger catering companies that had their own staff that just needed support staff for events. But I literally lost my job at a grow. And my neighbor at the time, Virgil Visosa, shout out to him, was just like, hey, you know, I could use hands at some of these events. And I was like, I don't know how to cook. He's like, no, it's cool. I'll make you a waiter. You just pour water and set up the tables and put the, you know what I mean, put the chairs out and everything or whatever. And it pays really good. All right, cool. I did that for like 2 times. The third event I show up to, he's like, hey, we're down a hand in the kitchen. Do you know how to use a knife? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I just need you to like chop up some vegetables and stuff. Cool. Did that. He's like, next event comes up. He's like, yo, do you want to work back at house again? I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
Did it again. By the third event, he's like, hey, you might got something with this. Would you like to learn more about cooking? Like, because I could show you a lot more.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
And I was super blessed that everybody that I started cooking around, like, I started cooking around Virgil, Byron Hughes, Matt Besa. These are all guys that I've known since like I was like fresh out of high school. And when I chose to do rap and cannabis or whatever, they all went to culinary school.
Yeah.
They all went and got jobs at like the Ritz-Carlton and
Yeah.
like went full in on the food thing.
Wow.
So then when we link back up 10 years later, they're all extremely vetted and like geared up in their situations
Yeah.
to where it was like they were able to pour all their knowledge into me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I very much streamlined the chef process very fast.
Yeah.
I went from, you know, I could follow directions in a recipe. Like I could cook a steak, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. I could make spaghetti, but like I could make breakfast. Like, but I wasn't no chef. I didn't know nothing about cooking like that. To like, I've only been cooking for 6 months. How am I teaching a cooking class right now?
Yeah.
Like, like, cause I taught you how to make pasta and you know how to make pasta. Now you can show these people how to make pasta.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So where it's like I've done catering, I've done cooking classes, I've done sidewalk food tours, I've done one-on-one date experiences, I've done pop-ups, I've done I've done like a lot as a chef. And it's kind of like the thing where it's kind of like weird now for me is like, nah, I came in. It's now that I'm thinking about it, it's very much similar to how my career was as an artist, where I came in very spoiled and very supported to now I'm by myself kind of doing everything. And I don't have nobody to lean on, to where it's like, that was the make or break moment for me with music. It was like, all right, well, if I want this, I'm going to have to continue down this journey by myself. I'm going to have to learn all these other things. Where with cooking, it's like, I'm not really trying to do the other things. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, now that I'm just like on the line working at a restaurant, and like I said, I'm always grateful to have a job and be able to pay my bills, that it's just like, it's really monotonous. It's really mundane.
Yeah.
It's not fun. It's not exciting. I'm not meeting as many cool people as I was when I first started.
Yeah.
And one of the highlight moments for me is, like, I worked with a lot of chefs that were like, maybe in the last 5 to 10 years of their career. Like, these guys are going to retire soon. And it's like, I've been able to like benefit from their 40 years of experience and then pour that into me.
Yeah.
And it's funny too, because I've also been around chefs like that where it's like, oh, you're not trying to teach me nothing, so I'm just gonna have to watch you very closely because I'm
Yeah.
gonna learn one way or another.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I've always been like that since I was a kid. Like either you gonna give me the game or I'm gonna take it from you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Either or. We can make this, we do this the easy way or the hard way. How you wanna do it? Like, but you know, it's like a lot of these dudes that like I felt were like being hard on me or whatever. It's more so it's like, nah, like when you do this at a high professional level, there is a standard. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And you have to meet the standard. And you know, if you're not meeting the standard, we're gonna do what we need to do to get you to meet the standard because we
Mhm.
don't have other employees, we don't got other hands. I need to make it work with you. So I'm gonna do what I need to do to show you how to
Mhm.
make it work. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I feel like that energy in like restaurants, it's not really the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not the personal investment in your success like how there is when you're doing like one-on-one cooking experiences or you're doing catering or something. Because it's like a lot of these, you might be working for a staffing agency, but you're partnered with a company that's like somebody's name
Yeah.
is on the line with
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Like if we get a bad review at this wedding, that might mess up us getting booked for the next one.
Yep.
And then people aren't going to be able to pay their mortgages and stuff. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like, this needs to go right. So we're going to do what we have to make sure it works. And I remember the first time I learned to do a technique, which is called canelling. I don't know if you're familiar with canelling. Canelling is when you take 2 spoons back and forth
Okay.
and you basically shape something into like a oval to
Uh-huh.
be like a garnish on something. Things like creme fraiche
Yeah.
or like ice cream
Uh-huh.
are kind of easy to canel. Canelling caviar is hella hard. And I remember there's a chef I worked with named Mandy. Shout out Mandy. And, you know, I was getting kind of like ragged on by the head chef that day. And she told the chef, she's like, if you want Chaz to do something right, all you have to do is tell him that he can't do it.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna take the challenge as like disrespect and he's gonna figure it out. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So the chef literally took that advice. It was like, I don't think you can canel the caviar.
Yeah.
So I learned to canel caviar, and we're at this event, and they keep telling us like, hey, there's a special guest at this event. He's like a really important chef. He's super famous.
Yeah.
When he comes in the kitchen, like everyone needs to just be very on their best behavior, like you're at Noma or you're at French Laundry or something, right? And I'm so focused on canelling the caviar that Thomas Keller walked in the kitchen and everybody stood at attention and is like waiting for him to address the staff. And I'm just over these wafer, it's a small wafer waffle thing that's made out of chicken fat, right? And there's a little bit of creme fraiche as the layer that I'm canelling the caviar on top. And everyone's like, Virgil's looking at me crazy because he's like, bro, you're not supposed to be doing this right now. We're all waiting for Thomas Keller to talk or whatever. And Thomas Keller literally doesn't say anything to anybody in the kitchen. He walks past me and says, nice canel, chef, and just walks out the kitchen.
That's crazy.
Damn.
And like ever since that happened, like it's like I asked Virgil, I'm like, hey, put Thomas Keller in like rap terms for me. Like I don't know who this guy is. Like compare him to a rapper. It's like that's like the Lil Wayne of American cooking.
Damn.
So it's like ever since then I've been like, yo, there's a really high level of this that you could reach or whatever, and I would like to get there. But if the journey for me to get there isn't going to be rewarding as
Yeah.
my music journey has been, isn't going to be rewarding as my cannabis journey is, I'm not doing all this
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I would like to find myself in a cooking space or maybe in a space of owning a restaurant or something later on in life, but I don't see myself like being in restaurants too much
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah.
On that topic, if there's 3 restaurants in Sacramento that would be your favorite to eat at, what would those 3 restaurants be?
Damn.
In the Sacramento food scene, we could all agree has come a long way.
Man.
Legit.
We were at on Friday night 2 of his buddies that he grew up with. We've been talking about we got to go out. We've been talking about this for like 2 years. And we went to Cannon. My buddy Clay owns Cannon.
I haven't been there yet.
All right, when you go, please hear me out on this. It's not on the menu, but they got the best burger in Sacramento.
Bro, spots that have a burger that are considered more fine dining spots,
Yeah.
but they have a burger, always get the burger.
Yes,
Yeah.
Like I
sir.
tell people that all the time.
Yes,
Like it's
sir.
normally gonna be the best burger you made or that you ever had. And the chefs there are gonna make it with so much love because everything else they're doing is so intricate and has so many details to it that when you get to do something more simple, you almost do it better.
Yeah. There it is.
Insane.
There it is. Hey.
I'm semi-biased because I work there right now, but the food at Frog and Slim is very
legit.
good.
I
That's
still
where
haven't-
you're at. That's a spot.
Yeah, I'm at Frog
man.
and Slim.
I
right
haven't
now.
been to Frog and Slim, and I hear good things.
great.
Yeah,
man.
Frog and Slim is great. I'm actually kind of sad that I'm having to step away to go on tour for 3 months, and hopefully they will have me back at the end of tour. But I've only been there about 2 months, and it's been a great experience. Chef Lana, Chef Tony, shout out them. Shout out Robert, the owner. So I would say Frog and Slim just because I'm a little biased because I'm familiar with the menu.
I love it.
I would say Localise.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best fine dining that I've had, and I don't want to butcher the name, but there is a birra taco spot inside the gas station
Oh shit!
on Fruit Ridge.
I know which one. I know which one you're talking about, bro.
I don't know. I don't remember the name, but the taco spot in the back of the gas station on Fruit Ridge, right before you get to Power Inn.
Yeah.
That's one of my top 3 food spots in Sacramento.
We'll find the name, but the one that I'm the most passionate about on the food, it's a food truck. Have you heard of Tacos El Aguacatero?
No.
El Aguacatero. It's off of Northgate. You know the famous car wash.
Is it the one that has the line on every Sunday? Like everybody gets out of church and then the line is like down the block.
It might be. I've never.
Because I grew up like right in that block away. There used to be 3 trucks, right?
Yeah,
Now,
there's 2.
right.
Yeah.
So one used to be like they got the good burritos, but the other one got the fire tacos. So I think the one you're talking about has the tacos.
Yeah, so you know the car wash House of Bling.
Bling.
That place is great, man. They're the best in town. But anyways, it's right kind of next to it, and they're in the same parking lot as the all pink building, mini La Mini Birria.
Which used to, I love that's there now, but that's always gonna be Rico's Pizza to me.
Yeah, man.
That's always gonna be Rico's Pizza, bro. Like,
Yep.
I've never eaten at Rico's Pizza.
Oh, yeah.
So they're out of business.
they're out of
Yes.
business. But Rico's used to be, if you were throwing a kid's birthday party,
That was it.
yeah, you get the Rico. They have a triple XL
Yeah.
pizza, but it's like it's like $30.
Yeah.
and you can get a pizza that'll feed like 20 people.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we used to go there every Friday. And it was like, there'd be some girls in there or whatever.
Yeah.
We'd be playing arcade games. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I'm like 13, 14 years
Yeah.
old. Like,
Yeah.
But that used to be the spot, man. Rico's Pizza, bro.
Have you been to Taco 65?
Bro.
To me, it's the best burrito in Sacramento. But here's the thing.
You're the 3rd person to tell me that.
Haven't been yet?
I've eaten there. I've eaten food from there, but I haven't gone to the actual spot yet.
Uh-huh.
You gotta go there and get the Autobata burrito. It'll change, and then get the habanero sauce. I'm telling you,
Is out of bottle pork?
you don't eat pork.
I don't eat pork.
Oh, no.
Well, then I know this is crazy. The chicken's better than the carne asada. I know that's weird.
Okay.
So maybe
I'm
get it.
I've had a carne asada burrito from there, but all the chefs at Frog and Slim swear by that spot.
Yeah.
My boy
Yep.
Matt Basis swears by that spot. There's too many people whose opinion on food that I respect that swear by Taco 65.
Yep.
And then also extra credit shout out to Shalimar. Have you guys been to Shalimar in North Thomas? Shalimar is amazing. I broke fast there and with I had iftar there a couple weeks ago. And it was dope too because I actually ran into a couple other Muslim cats that I know.
Yeah.
So that let me know like, oh, this is where y'all come to break fast at. This is one of them ones.
Yeah.
Probably the best naan bread that I've ever had.
Shalimar, but I'm getting that confused with the place that you go in the river.
No, not Alomar. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Shalimar. I know exactly what you're talking about. That place is fire.
Is that in Natomas?
Mm-hmm. It's right by the Target off North Marketplace, I think.
Nice. Going back to the music real quick. So this is a question. If you can be in the studio to do a track with, dead or alive, you had to pick one artist, who would that artist be?
Probably Nas.
Mm-hmm.
If not Nas, I would say Pusha T.
Mm-hmm.
Oof, damn. I feel like when I listen to your music, I feel like Dr. Mondo said this, that you can hear an East Coast influence in your song. So would you agree on that?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know where that came from. I don't know why I gravitated to that sound so much more. But actually, I think it's like before I got hip to like what the West Coast underground was, like People Under the Stairs and the Alcoholics and the Liquid MC crew and Cali Agents, Roscoe and PA, and like before I knew there was like a West Coast underground, like Dilated Peoples and all that. I just thought all the underground music, I got the underground rapper starter kit, which I always tell people it's like Raucous Records, like you know what I'm saying. Like if it was anything, Mos Def, Talib Kweli, The Roots, Pharoah Monch, like that whole vibe of music, like that's just what I gravitated to a lot when I was younger. And I think a lot of it had to do with like the soulfulness of the production because my mom played like a lot of R&B and like soulful records. And like my mom actually put me on Dead Prez. Like,
Oh, my word.
so my mom, the company she worked for, On Track, the people that founded On Track are all ex-Black Panthers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that kind of like spirit kind of always been in my household since I was younger. And she put me on that, was like, yo, if you're going to listen to some rap, you need to listen to these brothers because they actually talking about something.
Yeah.
And then I'm listening like, oh, it's revolutionary but gangster? Like the red, black, and green that's in the Pan-African flag, but it's revolutionary but gangster?
Yeah.
Oh, nah, like that turned me out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Turn off the radio, turn off that bullshit, you know what I'm saying? So I always just gravitated to, Gangstar.
Gangstar.
Thank
oh,
you.
man.
Gangstar. Like that, I think that more so than anything would credit why I gravitated so much to East Coast music. Because that was like my biological father. Like, as much as we don't rock like that, he put me onto a lot of music, and he was always playing like that stuff when I was younger. And he would play a lot of Gangstar and a lot of Tribe Called Quest. So those two groups, I think, were the main influence of me gravitating towards like an East Coast sound.
This is all making sense to me now.
That's dope.
It's all making sense to me because, like, when I was 15 years old, like 14, 15, 16, the music that, like, shaped my life as far as hip-hop goes would be who you just mentioned. Like, Gangstar being probably the biggest of them all. Gangstar, Jay-Z, Nas, obviously, but just some of those East Coast rappers are they're just different, man. I think you have a little bit more jazz element with the East Coast than you do some of the West Coast.
Oh, for sure. And then for me, it was like the maestro, the monotone, like how Guru's voice would cut through so much, but he never had to like do too much.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, like it's like he's reading a book to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but it's not boring. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like how, like, when you hear, like, when you watch National Geographic, it's like, yeah, nobody should be narrating this other than James Earl Jones or Morgan Freeman. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the voice you want to hear. It's like, over these smooth, jazzy instrumentals, this is who I want to rap over it. You know what I'm saying? I think Guru might have been, like, one of my first favorite rappers, for real, for real. Before I got, like, really heavy into Nas, I think it was Guru. And I know that, like, for a fact, that's my dad's favorite MC.
That's dope.
One of a kind voice, and it reminds me of a line from Evidence that I think is very applicable to you, especially when you share the story of the Amazon driver. Like, I didn't even see you; I heard your voice. As Evidence says, MCs without a voice should write a book. That's always that's always stood out to me because I'm going to give you an example on that. This is a bad example. This is me and my boy Weston, who I told you about earlier, is going to hear this and he's going to laugh his ass off. I can't stand West Side Gun. I can't. It's like nails on a chalkboard. I'll give you another rapper that does the same thing to me, Lil Wayne. Now, Lil Wayne, like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, is really good, but it's a testament to like your voice, bro. Like you have that voice that is just it's soothing. It's just a soothing voice. Not all rappers can say that, but MCs without a voice should write a book.
That's dope.
I got a write up in a blog or a magazine at one point, and I kind of got offended when I read it, but now that I'm older, I kind of understand it. And he prefaced it by like, I'm not saying this in a bad way, but C+ makes background music. And what I mean by that is like, I can listen to this while I'm studying. I can listen to this while I'm like cleaning the house.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like, I can listen to this and just enjoy the music and his voice without having to be paying attention to what he's saying.
Got it.
And there's not a lot of rappers that could do that. And at the time, I'm like, nah, I'm lyrical, bro. You need to catch these bars. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I didn't realize how much of a compliment that was. Yeah. Even if it seemed a little backhanded at the time, that it was that I have a complimentary voice to the beat. And it's enjoyable to listen to.
Yeah.
Freddie Gibbs would be another one.
You don't like Freddie's voice? You
No,
like
I
it,
love
bro?
Freddie.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah, what
Yeah.
I'm saying, no,
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
a background, like another.
Freddie sounds like a R&B singer from the 70s. Like
Yes.
he raps like from that baritone type, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
Also, one of the most solid people that I've met in this game. Like Freddie, I'll tell a story. I got stuck in LA one time. I took a burnt mission with a lot of bad work that I could not move. And I sat at Freddie Gibbs' house, and he literally went through his Rolodex, making phone calls for me, trying to find a dispensary for me to go drop this stuff off at. Didn't know me from a can of paint, just did me that solid on the fact that we had a mutual friend.
That's dope.
And was like, you know, what year, the first year Brown won with the Heat, I watched that game at Freddie's house.
Huh.
I got the line on the album with Everett. So when I say I'm at Freddie K house eating takeout from the steakhouse, I can
shit.
throw a rock off this nigga balcony and hit Drake house. You can throw a rock off Freddie Gibbs' balcony and hit Drake house.
That's crazy.
Wait, where's that at?
In the hills in Calabasas.
Calabasas, yeah.
That is, I never even knew that.
That's dope.
Yeah, so
That's
shout
so
out
dope.
Gangsta Gibbs, man. One of the most solid dudes I've met in this game.
Amazing. So tell us, before we wrap up, tell us about you have an upcoming tour. Let's talk about that a little bit.
So I have an upcoming tour, but it's not a tour for me per se. So I actually work for Hippie Sabotage.
Okay.
So I do road management for the opening act on the tour, which is Kembe X, who I'll let you guys know if you have to edit this out, but I don't think you do. I think he just signed a TDE. I think that's official now. Like all his booking information is now whoever at TDE. But he's been managed by Musa, who's the CEO of TDE for the last couple of years. And we actually me, Kembe, Alex Wiley, and a rapper named Satire, all were contractually bound to working with Hippie Sabotage when they signed their deal. They basically put a clause in their contract that, hey, we have production for these 4 or 5 artists that we need no hindrance in them being able to release the music that they, whatever you do with our stuff, cool, but all the stuff that we produce for them, like they get to put that out. Like you can't stop them from releasing their music. So I've known Kembe for about a decade from just being around the hippies. And then, you know, when they made him the opening act for the tour of like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, it was like, yo, like we need some, I don't want to say like babysit because he's a grown man, but it was like, yo, you've been on the road with us for the last 3 or 4 years, so you kind of know the ropes. We need you to like teach him the ropes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm Kembe's tour manager / DJ. Hippie Sabotage's stylist / hospitality manager for the entire tour, which means I handle all the food, all the shopping for the bus, laundry services, anything that you could think of that needs to get done behind the scenes. That's pretty much what I do on the Hippie Sabotage tour. I do not perform on the tour.
Yeah.
Got it.
But so that, when I was saying like, you know, when I retire, it's probably going to be doing more of that in a more intensive sense, and just focusing more on just whatever jobs that I can find to keep me in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But so yeah, that tour is gonna be just me doing my 1-2 is like tour management and hospitality.
Love it.
Hippie Sabotage is absolutely insane how dope they are.
People sleep, bro. Like when people ask me like, well, what is Hippie Sabotage? I'm like, it's every single type of electronic dance music mixed with rock and roll, mixed with hip hop.
And
All
heavy bass.
in one, heavy bass. All in one. So it's like with the EDM, you get the jungle, the techno, the drum and bass, the house, the UK garage. You get every type of EDM, and then they splash you with that for like 4 or 5 songs, and then bro come out with the guitar and sing like Aerosmith or like 21 Pilots or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And then they go back and do some EDM stuff for a bunch of songs. Everybody's mosh pitting, crazy going like. And then he comes out and raps basically on a couple songs.
Yeah.
And Jeff's raps, or like, I don't even want to call it rap. You can call it singing, whatever. But his lyricism and how he presents it is so good that when the records came out that he was like basically rapping on, everybody thought me and Kembe was writing his lyrics. Like everyone like in our friend group that knows us was like, oh, you were in the studio and you wrote that for me. Like, bro, I wasn't even around when Jeff made those songs. Now, did some of him being in the studio for years with me and Chase Moore, who's an incredible MC as well? that might have rubbed off on him a little bit. I'm not saying it didn't.
Yeah.
But I can't take no credit
Yeah,
for
yeah,
his
yeah.
pen game. Like, that is all him, 100%.
That's dope.
So it's been such a blessing too. Like, you know, it's a lot of people that I started with that I didn't get to finish with, that it's so dope that I'm still doing this with the guys that I started with
That
a decade
is.
plus ago.
That
You know what I'm
is,
saying?
man.
Like, it's been rocky, it's been ups and downs or whatever, but like, I'm so grateful for the opportunities that they've afforded me, and that it's literally like, yo, whatever we got to do to find a way to like fit the homie in the situation, that's what we're doing. Like,
Yeah.
if he has to learn a new, like I'm learning how to do sound now from Rene and the sound guy, and it's just like, yo, and he told me straight up, he's like, yo, like, the more things you do, the more of a Swiss Army knife you become, the more disposable you're gonna be, not just to this situation, but any situation you find yourself in the future.
Yep.
And I'm just like, I'm continuing to be a sponge. I feel like when you stop learning, you stop growing, and
Yeah.
I feel like I have a bunch more to learn.
Man, love it. Love it. All right, man. We hit everybody with it, man. What does legacy mean to you, man?
Because I don't have children, I think legacy is just the impact that you not only leave on this earth, you know what I'm saying, as far as like for me, like my catalog of music and stuff, but the impact and the effect that I've had on other people's lives. Whether that be good or negative, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna remember the interactions that you had with me. You gonna remember the memories that we made together. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's just how much, you know, hopefully in a positive way, you can impact other people's lives and the lasting impression that you leave on them. I watched a movie recently that I saw when I was a kid, but I didn't really understand it when I watched it at the time. And I watched it again. It's called Lady in the Water.
Okay.
You familiar with that?
Uh,
It's probably M. Night Shyamalan's like lowest performing film that he's ever done, starring Paul Giamatti, Jeffrey Wright's in it. But it's about like this mythical creature that comes to life that's living in the pool in the back of this dude's apartment complex, and he's the landlord. And the creature basically like comes to him and tells him like, hey, I'm hiding out in the water in the pool because there's this monster in the woods behind the apartments that's hunting me. And I have to not get killed by this monster. And by this date, it's funny because there's an eagle right there. This big bird is going to come out the sky and rescue me and take me back to my homeland. But if the monster kills me before the bird comes to take me, then my whole world is going to be doomed, right? And her getting rescued by the bird is equivalent, is certain things have to line up, right? So there's this old Asian lady that lives in I think she's Chinese, that lives in the apartment complex that knows the story of the mythical creature. So he's asking the lady to tell him the story, not knowing that like, no, the mythical creature is actually real and it's living in the pool in the backyard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she tells him the story, and she's basically like, in order for the bird to come back and rescue the creature, these couple things have to happen. And one of the things is there's somebody that's working on a piece of artwork, maybe a book, maybe a painting or something. But this painting is going to be very, very important for society. And that the mythical creature basically knows the future, right? And M. Night Shyamalan actually plays the character that's writing the book.
Yeah.
And the book is called The Cookbook. But I think the cookbook is actually the Anarchist Cookbook. It just doesn't have the full title. But the creature basically tells him like, hey, that thing that you're working on that you kind of like have been hesitant to do because you think it's going to ruffle a lot of feathers and it's going to get you in a lot of trouble, you actually really need to write this book. And it's like important for your society that you write this book because you're going to write this book, you're going to put it out. Then somebody is going to read it, and then that person is going to go on to be a very great leader in society. And he wouldn't have the opinions and thoughts that he has and the viewpoints that he does if it wasn't for your book, right? So he's like, he meets the creature and he almost comes with so the landlord, he has a stutter, right? He doesn't stutter when he's around the creature, right? And he's like, I have this feeling of like pins and needles whenever I'm around her.
Yep.
He brings M. Night Shyamalan's character around the nymph or whatever it is, and he has the same feeling. And he asks him, he's like, do you feel that? And he's like, yeah, I don't know what that is. He's like, but I feel like I need to go finish my book now. And then later on in the movie, he's so paranoid because he finishes the book and he knows what he said in the book.
Yep.
And he asks the nymph, like, hey, when I put this book out, what's gonna happen to me?
Yeah.
And she's hesitant to tell him. And he's like, is someone gonna kill me because I put this book out? And she's like, yeah,
Damn.
you're gonna die because you put this book out. But
Uh-huh.
the sacrifice that you're making by doing that is gonna change the world.
Huh.
So he basically, the rest of the movie is him coming to terms with the fact that, hey, I'm gonna die because of what I said,
Uh-huh.
but it's so important that I'm willing to die for it.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about my artwork and my legacy.
That is a way to wrap that up, man. That's dope. That's dope. Woo. He's even wrapping his brain around it, right?
This is a special day for me,
Yeah,
bro.
I know, man. This is why he's been looking forward to it, man. Listen, we've had some great guests on here, but this guy has been looking forward to this.
Man,
for
I see
so
it in the
long,
comments, man. I appreciate all the support.
Seriously.
Man.
Yeah.
I've been waiting to connect with y'all. And I'm glad we took this time to sit down, man. I've done a handful of interviews in my life or whatever. I can honestly say this is probably the best interview that I've done.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Let's stay there for a second, man. I gave this motherfucker his flowers like 6 times in this, and he's given. I really feel like this is very intentional.
For sure.
This is very intentional. You know what I mean? And I appreciate you for saying that. I'm going to extend the invite to you, by the way. Sometime around summertime, you're going to have to come to Garden of the Gods, where the homie Weston Ramirez, who introduced me, I wouldn't know about C+ if it wasn't for the big...
I got to meet meet this
Oh,
guy.
yeah. And by the way, you guys have tons of mutual friends. So Weston lives around the corner from me. Scott Gilbert lives around the corner from me. We do a lot of barbecues, pool parties.
Nice.
So I'm gonna invite you to one of them.
Yeah,
Man.
for sure. Definitely got to come through.
Let's
Yes,
do it.
sir.
Thanks for coming in, man. We really appreciate you, brother.
We out.
Man, peace.